All right, so we got a couple more. It says a surveyor needs to find out how far away she is from a 3,000-foot cliff. If the angle between the horizontal and the cliff, the angle of elevation, is 22 degrees, how far is she from the cliff? So there's a cliff. Let's just kind of draw this. I have a hard time visualizing sometimes. So there's a cliff. Here's the person. It says the cliff is 3,000 feet. So that means this is 3,000 right here. Then it says if the angle between the horizontal and the cliff, so that means if the angle from here to here, so the horizontal is this, and the cliff, if that's 22 degrees, how far is she? So basically that means this is 22 degrees. They want to know how far is she from the cliff. They want to know that right there. So if we labeled this triangle, I'm going to have to kind of flip it, like mirror this. But this would be like 3,000 because this would be the person. So our angle here would be 22 degrees. And then what they want to know is this base. So they want to know A. So since we're missing two sides, that means we need to use regular trig. So what we want and what we have. So we want, well, based on her, this is our op, height, and adjacent. We want our adjacent, and what we have is our op. So op and adjacent is tangent. Tangent of 22 is equal to opposite over adjacent. If you multiply by A on both sides, you get A tangent of 22 equals 3,000. Then divide by tangent 22. Chunga chunga. A equals 7,425.26. And that's feet, because that's how high the cliff is. That was the question. All right, so that's how high up this thing. Sorry, the question was how far is she? So that's this one right here. She's about 7,400 feet away. All right, this one says a roof has a 512 pitch. When it talks about pitch, can you guys just think of that as slope? So on a roof of a garage, it's kind of hard to draw this three-dimensional so that you can see it, but there's like beams that go this way and beams that go this way. So what it's saying is, and this 512 pitch is a pretty safe pitch, it's really like slope, which is rise over run. So in this one, it's 5 over 12. It means that this would be about 12, we'll say 12 inches, and it would go up 5 inches. Okay, so if you draw a triangle, this would be 5, this would be 12. That's what the 512 pitch means. This is where a lot of students struggle. 512 pitch is rise, run. So the question is, what is the angle formed by the roof with the rafter? So this is the rafter right here, and this is the roof. So what they're asking is, what's this angle right here? You might have heard your parents talk about putting things up in the rafters. What they mean is like lining them up so that they can stack up in the garage on these. So we're looking for this angle here. We'll call this angle A. That means this would be the op, height, and adjacent. So we're looking at the opposite and adjacent to find angle A, because those are the two sides we were given. So opposite and adjacent is tangent. Tangent of angle A is equal to opposite over adjacent, and we need to do inverse tangent to solve. These chunga chunga, angle A equals the inverse tangent of 5 over 12. .62. So that means this is about a 22, 23 degree angle right here. All right, I believe this is the last one. So it says an airplane is flying at an altitude of 3,000 feet. An altitude of 3,000 feet means a height. So, sorry, 30,000. So the plane's at 30,000 feet. If the angle of depression means downward. If you think of if someone's depressed, they kind of hang their head. That's this right here, like if you hang your head. So if the angle of depression to the airport signal, so here's the airport, and this little man or woman is kind of hanging out there waiting to give or get signals. If that angle of depression is 10 degrees, how far must a radio signal travel from the airport to the plane? So from the airport to the plane, that is from here to here. This is the first one that they're looking for, this side right here. Second, it says, what is the ground distance from the plane to the airport signal? So the ground distance means basically how far away are they? Not straight line, because you can't walk this, but from where the plane is to where the radio tower is, what's that distance? Which essentially is this right here. So if we redraw this triangle, we are looking for this distance, and what we know is this is 30,000. Now, what's confusing for students is that they think they don't know any angles. Well, here's the interesting thing. If the pilot has to depress his head 10 degrees to see this person, they would have to impress or raise their head 10 degrees to see him. So you guys would move your heads the same angle, just in opposite directions. So we know that this is 10 degrees. So based on that, this is angle, we'll call it angle A. And then we'll call this side B, A, C. I'm just randomly picking those letters, okay? So we're looking for B and C. This would be our op. This would be our height. And this would be our adjacent. So let's say we want to find side B first. If we want to find side B, we want the adjacent, and what we have is the opposite. Adjacent and opposite is tangent, so tangent of 10 is equal to opposite over adjacent. If you multiply by B on both sides and then divide by the tangent of 10, what you end up with is that B equals 30,000 divided by tangent 10. Which is 170,138.45. I'm probably going to forget that. Yep, already forgot it. 138.45. And that's feet. So that's 170,000 feet away. So this guy's 170,000 feet away. That's this right here, okay? Now the next thing we needed to find was C, which is how far the radio tower is. So in that case, what we want is the height, and what we have is still the opposite. Opposite and hypotenuse is sine, so sine of 10 equals the opposite over the hypotenuse. If you multiply by C on both sides and then divide by sine of 10, what you'll end up with is C equals 30,000 divided by the sine of 10. Which is 172,763.11. And that is also feet. So that means this straight distance from the tower to the airplane is 172,000